What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean Strickland will beat Khamzat Chimaev. Although Sean Strickland may not be sold on Khamzat Chimaev getting a crack at the middleweight title, he's welcomed a fight with the #1 contender in the wake of his win over Kamaru Usman at UFC 294. While many believe that the stylistic matchup favors Chimaev in the fight, Henry Cejudo sounds ready to change his prediction after seeing how things played out between Chimaev and Usman at UFC 294.
I don't know if Khamzat gets past this Sean Strickland. You know, did he win against Kamaru Usman? 100%. Could he have that power to be able to take down Sean round after round and do what he does? Because if you guys notice in that third round against Kamaru, he was tired. I think I do have a right to jump sides because according to what I saw, I think he's in for a fight with Sean Strickland. And I do believe that guys that just fight, that just know about fighting, if Sean is able to get to his feet, which I think he will, I'm placing my money with Sean Strickland.
Currently, the odds for the potential fight have Chimaev sitting as a -220 favorite to Strickland's +185 underdog status, according to betonline.ag. While no date has been given for the potential scrap, bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley recently weighed in on a recent episode of the Timbo Sugar Show.
I want to see Khamzat fight Costa. I mean, Khamzat beat Kamaru at 185.
From the sounds of things, the scheduling of the fight will largely be determined by whether or not Khamzat Chimaev suffered a broken hand or not against Kamaru Usman. Next up, let's take a look at Alexander Volkanovski breaks silence on Islam Makhachev fight. After a rough loss to Islam Makhachev at UFC 294, Alexander Volkanovski showed fans a vulnerable side while speaking to media members after the fight. As he explained, despite having a good family life at home, he mentally needed to get back to preparing for a fight after having to take some time off as a result of surgery. The situation sparked widespread support for the featherweight champ, who spoke about the fight in a video for his YouTube channel.
Sometimes it can, you put a bit of pressure because I know that I need to make the most of me in my prime, because who knows how my days are numbered. You know, me and my wife, we're great. We've got beautiful family. Like, we're all good. So I want everyone to know that. I don't want everyone thinking that it's not like that. You know, it's just me trying to deal with being a high performance athlete and not being able to fulfill that side of things, especially the last few months.
Following the fight, Volkanovski also received support from Tyson Fury, who spoke to Oscar Willis leading up to his clash with Francis Ngannou. As he revealed, after taking a considerable amount of time off since his last fight, he went through something similar to Volkanovski.
And what I'd say to Alexander is keep going. You know, he's a very good professional athlete, and you win some, you lose some, and dust yourself off and get back in there and kick it.
Despite the loss, Volkanovski is eager to return to the octagon in January to defend his title against Ilia Topuria. Next, let's take a look at Joe Rogan reacts to Sean Strickland kicked out of his gym. While Sean Strickland has been an integral part of Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, the middleweight champion's outspoken nature has landed him at the heart of a number of controversies outside of the octagon, largely due to comments he's made. According to UFC legend Dan Henderson, despite Strickland being a good training partner, he was kicked out of Team Quest in his early days, not because he was a problematic member during training, but because of his controversial statements and trash talk. During a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Henderson spoke about the situation.
As Max Holloway.
He was at my gym for like 3 years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Was he?
Kind of had to let him go. Yeah, no, he just kind of gets too involved talking about people. I liked him in the gym. I liked him there. He was a great training partner. You need at least one guy in your gym that does that and goes hard and makes everybody else go hard when they're going against him. So I liked it.
As Henderson went on to explain, despite having to remove Strickland from the team as a result of being too disrespectful to teammates, he continued to root for him professionally. Next, let's take a look at Garry calls out former UFC champion. After Garry's win over Neil Magny, the undefeated contender set his sights on a targeted fight with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. However, the former title challenger declined. Instead, Garry and Vicente Luque were matched up for a UFC 296 clash to close out the year. Despite having a fight on the calendar, Garry has continued to set his sights on moving up the UFC's rankings. While speaking on the recent episode of the Anik and Florian podcast, he spoke about his plans, naming a number of potential opponents, including former welterweight kingpin Kamaru Usman.
If Kobe goes out there and gets starched by Leon, who is he going to fight next? Let me go in there and thump them out of him. You've got Usman, who's just come off a loss against Khamzat.
Yeah.
Why not give me him? Go out there and it's like, all right, Khamzat couldn't finish him. Watch what I'll do to him. Anybody that's above me, they're all opponents.
Currently, Garry is ranked 10th on the UFC's official rankings, while his next opponent, Vicente Luque, is ranked 9th. Of course, many of the fighters Garry called out, like Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, are all top-ranked fighters, meaning he may have to get at least one more win under his belt before getting a crack at the best of the best in the welterweight division. However, given the hype he's riding into his next fight, the promotion could give him a big step up in competition should he emerge from the fight victorious. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at MMA community reacts to Alex Pereira body transformation. Ahead of his upcoming vacant light heavyweight title fight with Jiří Procházka at UFC 295, former UFC middleweight champion and two-division Glory kickboxing champion Alex Pereira has left fans stunned with his new physique. In a video posted by Pereira, he can be seen working out in the gym while looking particularly muscular. Accompanied by the clip, Pereira wrote, "I'm in the form of my life, 230 pounds." The video caught the attention of fans, who were quick to note that Pereira is looking notably strong after making the move to light heavyweight full-time. One fan wrote, "It's still unreal the man was cutting to 185, while another one chimed in writing, "Fortune of the day, you're not Procházka and neither is your name Israel." Another fan responded, theorizing as to what the former champ would look like as a heavyweight, writing, "How hard would he hit at heavyweight though?" Some fans were so blown away by Pereira's physique that they couldn't help but drop predictions for the upcoming UFC 295 fight. One fan wrote, "Look, it's the 2024 middleweight light heavyweight champ," while another wrote, "Jiří getting decapitated." With the fight right around the corner, the current odds indicate just how split the MMA community has remained on the fight. The current odds according to DraftKings have Pereira as a -142 favorite, while Procházka sits as a slight +120 underdog. Dana White reveals big money move from the UFC. The UFC has now inked the most lucrative sponsorship deal in promotional history after securing a multi-year deal valued at $100 million with Anheuser-Busch to make Bud Light the official beer of the UFC. In an announcement made this week by both the UFC and Anheuser-Busch, UFC CEO Dana White opened up on the partnership, while also shedding some light on the UFC's history with Anheuser-Busch. He was quoted in part as saying, "Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light were UFC's original beer sponsors more than 15 years ago. I'm proud to announce we're back in business together. There are many reasons why I chose to go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. Most importantly, because I feel we are very aligned when it comes to our core values and what the UFC brand stands for. I'm looking forward to all of the incredible things we will do in the years ahead." In a post made on social media, the official Bud Light account wrote, "We're proud to announce that starting in 2024, we'll once again be the official beer sponsor of the UFC. Starting on January 1st, Bud Light will replace Corona as the official beer of the UFC. Looking ahead at the UFC's schedule in the new year, the expectation is that the UFC Vegas 83 card on January 13th will be the first time fans will see Bud Light logos inside the octagon again." Dana White is facing major backlash after UFC signed the $100 million deal with Bud Light. People were furious on Twitter and had this to say, "Goodbye UFC. UFC announces Bud Light as its official beer in partnership with Anheuser-Busch. UFC boycott is on. Time to double down on the boycott Bud Light and now boycott UFC." Someone else replied, "Dumb move, Dana White. I don't know about others, but I'm done with Dana White, who I will unfollow after this post. Bud Light never apologized to women or America for pushing trans, so f them, trans enabler Dana White, and the trans UFC with the trans dong. Bud Light are marketing morons to try this. It's like picking at a scab, it's going to leave a scar. This just shows customers that Bud didn't give a flying f about the boycott / Bud dividing USA." Dana White announced yesterday that Jon Jones vs. Stipe Miocic is canceled due to injury.
What's up, everybody? Here we are again. You know, Jon Jones was training last night, got injured. He was wrestling, and he tore the tendon that connects your pec to the bone, off the bone. 8 months, gonna need surgery. He's out. So, the main event is Procházka versus Pereira. The co-main event now is Pavlovich versus Aspinall for the interim heavyweight championship. Sergey Pavlovich, the number 2 ranked heavyweight, 18-1 with 15 knockouts. He has an 83% finish rate. His last 7 wins all ended in the very first round. He's tied with Hall of Famer Don Fry for the second longest knockout streak in UFC history. His last 3 wins have been over Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, and Curtis Blades. He's aiming to become the 4th Russian champ in UFC history. Tom Aspinall, he's the number 4 ranked heavyweight. He's 13-3 with 10 knockouts and 3 subs. That's a 100% finish rate. 8 of his last 9 wins have come in the first round. He has never seen the 3rd round in his UFC career. out of 7 fights, he's won 5 performance bonuses. This guy is a beast, and he is looking to become the first British heavyweight champion in UFC history. A combined 25 knockouts, 26 first-round finishes, number 2 versus number 4 in the heavyweight division for the interim heavyweight title. UFC 295 is live November 11th from MSG on ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
Top comments. Dude, I've never seen trash talk backfire so much than Conor versus Khabib. Man still living rent-free on Conor's head after all these years. Conor's response is funny, not gonna lie, and his singing LMAO, those fans can do whatever, but Conor living his best life, made all the money in the fight game, won 2 championships in different weight classes, giving his children the best life one can work for, and even if he never fights again, his one tweet gets more coverage in all MMA media outlets than most active MMA fighters' whole career, haha. I'm sure if Walker had said, I'm in Abu Dhabi, the doctor would have allowed him to fight. For him to not know where he was is not a language barrier problem. Either he was 1, concussed, 2, lying to get out of the fight, 3, low IQ, or 4, all 3 combined and more. I don't think Conor fights again, and it's time we all move on. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.